Hi there, I'm Dr. LaQuita J, and welcome to my YouTube channel where I talk about all things that in between being and becoming a pharmacist. How you doing? You alright? In this session, I want to talk about how to create your ideal study schedule. This is something I discovered my first year of pharmacy school, and I want to share with you because it was such an eye-opening thing, and it's something that I really use today because I realized my I would say I always call it my zone of genius, and that's always tell my client, "What's your zone of genius?" Okay. Now this zone of genius is what I call, well, most people refer to as peak energy or peak performance hours. You may have heard it, may not, but peak energy refers to the moments when you feel most alert, most focused, most capable of tackling any kind of task. You have like the utmost efficiency, enthusiasm. You just get it done. It's like that state of autumn vitality, mental acuity is the very resource which you like harness, embody effectiveness, sufficiency, productivity, creativity, just overall well being. You heard of that? So the key thing is to understand, like when you identify, is to understand and manage your peak energy. That helps you to live well, I said lead a balanced life. So what is, like, I just defined what peak energy is, and then the significance of it is peak energy is the catalyst for your peak performance. It's those times where you are heightened, your cognitive abilities are heightened. Your making problem, like your problem solving is, um, I won't, is, I'll say next level because I was like, I want to say it's like faster, but it is for me. Learning, it helps with decision making, just all things that helps you, like you're more effective. And when you recognize and utilize your peak energy, it helps to increase your efficiency, it helps reduce stress, and it's honestly help you to just get things done that you know you need to get done. Okay? And that's one, like the significance of why it's so important. And it's also too is it helps you to understand like your energy patterns. It helps you to understand what levels throughout the day where you're not feeling like enthusiastic, or you just know it's like it's not a thing. Like I'm just feel burnt out, I'm worn out for the day, I just can't do anything. And it's like help you identify that. So it's definitely it's something you just have to track to figure it out. It may take, I always say, I did this 3 day time audit, sorry, edit 3 day time audit, which you just track your time, what you're doing, and you notice like what days, like what times you feel most energetic, what times you don't. Most people honestly don't feel, they have less energy between that 1 and 4 o'clock area. Because it's a think of, you think about it like when you eat lunch, mostly eat lunch around about 12, 11. Your food is settling in, and it's that 1 to 4 slump where it's just you dreading to stay focused, and you like, man, what's happening? That's probably a low energy peak. If that's you, understand what I'm saying, like you get it. So that's one of the key things, like you have to be mindful, like what is your, like identifying your peaks and valleys in energy levels. Like you track it, it understands that dip is typically going to be through that evening. Sometimes it may be at night, like you just tired from the day and you just want to go to sleep, or maybe a morning. Like some people just not morning people. And they may be like there's like a low energy for it. You have to identify, and a way to identify your peaks and valleys in energy is by checking your time. Now if you have a Soar book, a workbook, it's already built inside for you how to track your time. the time audit to identify what works best for you, and it's also reflection questions and things of that nature. Like you can really dig deep and figure out, okay, what is it that I need, right? So definitely that. So one thing, and even in doing this, how I learned my peak energies was in first year of pharmacy school, right? Had my routine. I realized after class I like to read and write. Read the textbook, write my notes. So that's what I'll do. And then I'll try to at least read over what I wrote. So it was one thing of I was trying to it was a concept I just was not getting. I just got frustrated. I was like, you know what? Let's just call it a night. I'll get up the next morning and study before class or something. I think it was like a test or something. I don't know, but I think it was a test. It was a test. It was in cardiovascular disease state, and it was a test in it, and I just could not get it. And I was like, okay, don't worry about it. Just go to sleep and we'll think about it tomorrow. We'll get it. And during that time, first year of pharmacy school, I was waking up at 3 o'clock in the morning. And that was my routine. It's like I'm a morning person. I'm just really a morning person. I'm a morning person. It's just some at the sunrise. I love it. I'm just a morning person, and it's a thing of I'm a morning person where let me just say this like, cause like I'm not like you see I'm probably happy and chipper, but I have been up for a while to be that way. I had my time to myself, so that kind of thing. But I digress. Um, in pharm school now I was studying, it was the cardiovascular, and it was one of those things of it was the RAS system. RAS, renin, angiotensin, um, aldosterone system. And it was just not clicking. It was not clicking at all. And then it was just something about me get up that morning. I was like, let me just read my notes again and let me get it. And it was like, it's like stars were aligning. I'm full of energy. Just clicked. And I was like, I had the biggest aha moment. Because the thing was, the well, and I saw pathophysiology. Let's start with physiology, like the RAS system, like how the RAS system works. And it says someone has blood pressure and how the body, no matter what, the body is always trying to reach homeostasis. And you do pathophysiology saying what's going wrong for blood pressure. So the pathophysiology, like what's like basically in the RAS, it was almost like it was doing the opposite kind of thing. This is how it normally works. Physiology, pathophysiology. Person has high blood pressure, and the body's trying to reach homeostasis, so it does the exact opposite, or something like not something like that. It's doing. It's trying to accommodate, working more, and then I went to, and then we like learn all these drugs, like all these drugs that work here, and this pharmacology, and I'm like, oh, that makes all the sense in the world. And then I realized, if you understand the pathophysiology, you understand the pharmacology, because the pharmacology is why the drug needed to work right where it was working at anyway, right? And I just got so excited, like, and it's to the point where, like, even in coaching, when it comes to cardiovascular disease, my clients see me just light up because it's just I just revert back to that moment where I just had that big aha moment with RAS system and especially something like with cardiovascular disease, specifically blood pressure. And this is a whole T note. I'm not trying to coach you, but I'm gonna give you this tidbit, this Naplex Success tip. And when it comes to blood pressure, pharmacology, if you understand the pathophysiology, the pharmacology makes sense, and all the side effects and everything makes sense because of how it works and where it's working. Okay, that's the TV. I'm not gonna teach you that. You'll catch it. You will catch it. It all makes sense. Okay. But it was one of those things I was like, oh my gosh. And until to this day, I still use this method. Like if I know when I need to write a paper, I need to just get something, like if I have a top priority thing I need to do and I've been procrastinating on, I'm going to do it in the morning. sometimes 3 hours in the morning because that's my zone of genius. Like, I just get stuff done. Things just click for me. And those are my peak energy hours. So this is how I use it. So the ideal way of how to use it, and how to capitalize on your peak energy hours is the first thing. Well, the first thing you do is discover your peak. You have to analyze your record energy patterns. You identify your peak energy hours, the times when you feel naturally awake, and focused. Some people are night owls. Like, it's just the night, 9 p.m. to 12 a.m. It's like their zone of genius. Like, whatever that time is, you just utilize that. So first you have to discover it. Do a time audit, as it's once already inside the Soar workbook. Do a time audit. Then once you identify, okay, like, you do, these are my peak energy hours, then you want to say, okay, what activity do I need to complete? What's an activity or what's a task that requires my most energy, my intense concentration, decision making, creativity? Even I would even go set a challenging task, because for me, when I have something I've been procrastinating on, or something that I just been I found very difficult, I do it in the morning, first time I wake up, because I feel it's my peak energy hours. So you have to identify, you have to prioritize that complex task. And if you haven't already, go watch a video, the 3 ways to prioritize. 3 ways to prioritize your to-do list when everything feels important. Go watch that. How to identify your task prioritization. That video link is linked below. It's linked below. Go watch it, if you haven't already. And then you just basically you plan your day around your energy patterns. Like those slots that you got demanding times, your peak energy, you say demanding. So like I said, for me, I am a morning person. So for my peak energy hours, my typically truly zone of genius is going to be anywhere between 4, actually sometimes 3 in the morning, depending on if I wake up early enough. Anywhere from 3 a.m. to 7 a.m., I am my this peak energy zone of genius. So I particularly like to have tasks and things of that nature done for that. Like, get that done. And then I'm more so midday slump kind of person, or at night. Now sometimes midday I can get, depending on what I had for lunch. So midday, I know that lunch makes me a little sluggish. I try not to have like a heavy lunch at all. So then that way I can, at least that 1 and 4 hour, I can focus on something that doesn't require much concentration, but it's something I could just do. Um, like if that is, um, I'm good at reading and watching videos and taking notes. So if that's my kind of thing, and there may be something for you. That's what I typically do. And then it's always too, like, I schedule breaks and figure out like my peak energy. I'm more so not a night person typically. I'm like my lowest energy, so I try to do things where I can always say, or even if I'm like I feel sluggish. Anytime I just feel sluggish and like gut, I like to do activities that I'm like I can listen to music to, something to keep me upbeat, or something I can like talk on the phone with someone about, like that. That's how I really typically want to do it. And then another way you can capitalize on your peak energies too is, as well as optimizing your health. That's always one. Like making sure you have good nutrition. Like I said, depending on what, like for me, depending on what I eat, I can become very sluggish after lunch. That's why I try not to do too much, because I know at night I'm not as good. I'm not my best self, but I'm still okay, but it's not my best self. So I try to make sure I have heavy tasks, um, heavy concentration tasks done in the morning. I go heavy and then decrease at light. But if you're like more so a night person, you might want to start light and then go heavy. For me, it's heavy on down. I'm like the opposite triangle going down. That's more so for me. Yeah. So these are ways. Another way too is your routine. Routines also always matter. Making sure that you're establishing consistent routines that can help you regulate your body, your internal clock. If you have not already, go watch our other video that has when I talk about habits versus routines. You need a bit of routine as well because the routine matters and it's going to help with your peak energy. Okay. And as always, you have to experiment with what your peak energy is and adapt. Like I said, in pharmacy school, it was a thing of me getting up at 3 o'clock in the morning. First year of pharmacy school, second year, that didn't work out too much. I was like, I might get up at 5, but it's something with that. I always say this though, it was something weird. I mean, not something weird. It was one of those things that I realized I can't. People like, let's do all nighter and stuff. That's not my zone of genius. I'm gonna go to bed. I'm gonna wake up about 3 o'clock in the morning. I'm gonna study because that's my zone of genius. I knew what worked best for me. But for you, you have to figure out what works best for you. So feel free to experiment and adapt. That's how you really capitalize on it. And even I was waking up at 5. I always say this, even to this day, right now, if I have something to do, I'm going to wake up early and get it done. Yes, I'm going to wake up very early and get it done. Even just being honest, some of these videos that you have watched, they have been recorded at 3 o'clock in the morning. Because I was up and I was like, let's get it done. It's peak energy time. And I was able to record, especially a series that's coming up. You'll see me, it's like, oh, she record all that. Yeah, you will see. Not the series coming. I had a mini series in a series, but you will see, like, you like, oh yeah, she did that. Well, not saying she did that, but yes, it's one of those things. Peak energy, though. Peak energy is truly your zone of genius. You, it's one of the best things that I was able to identify to help me not only succeed in pharmacy school, but as practicing as a pharmacist. Like, I mean, and just in life in general, anything that I know I have procrastinated on that is a big task, it requires a lot of energy. And it's like, even something for me, i'm a I'm a good writer, but I hate to write, in a sense. It's just, yeah. But when I write, I can write. So I just realized something. If I'm required to write something, I probably need to start in the morning because my creativity is going. I can just see the line and everything and do my outline and just do all the things. So that works for me. Figure out what works for you. What's your peak energy? That, remember, that's your zone of genius. And the peak energy is going to help you set up your schedule, set up your routines. It's going to help. It's going to help you execute your goals, and it's also going to help with in tomorrow's video when we start talking about time blocking. So make sure you stay prepared. Like, be ready to watch that because we're going to really identify and put all these concepts together of time blocking, peak energy, and how you're going to set yourself up for success. Okay. Until next time, remember that pharmacy is unlimited if you are. Now go be great, okay?